wage and social safety net is preceded by the eradication of the black taxpayer base in each of these states. So the northern states are all anti-black, but once they gentrify the black demographic out to say less than 10%, as I pointed out, suddenly all the wages go up, all the union rights come back in. So it's predicated on a racial metric.
I'm in California. Did you want to say what state you're actually in?
He said he was in Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Thank you.
So I got another question. So when you say you're a black,
once again, California is not pro-black.
Hold on. Do not interrupt me. I want to engage with this because this is interesting. We don't typically get the honor of having somebody quite as, I'm gonna be nice, as unique as you are. Explain to me, what do you mean exactly when you say you're a black supremacist?
Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, that means I look out for the safety, prosperity, and welfare of black children above all other priorities. That's it.
Okay. So what's supreme about that?
What is more important than that?
Well, I would think that, if taking care of children is something that is on your heart, then the idea that a race would be prioritized over, let's just say the need itself. I think that's a weird take. You're entitled to it. Everybody's entitled to their weird takes. But let me ask you this: if somebody was to say, "Hey, I want to prioritize the needs of white children over all else," how would you refer to that?
A humanitarian.
That would be a white supremacist, but even that's not being fully honest. White supremacy focuses on white males above every other member of their community. That's historically true for thousands of years.
I would refer it as unconstitutional. That's how I would refer to it.
Why would that be unconstitutional?
Because you're developing a political premise over the color of someone's skin.
So you don't think America needs stronger white people?
Whenever you make a political policy or make a business decision based on the color of someone's skin, it's not only racist prejudice, but it's against the First Amendment. It's against the AC, your civil rights. You're violating someone's civil rights.
So let me ask you this, Uncle Steve. Do you feel like tanning salon regulations is unconstitutional?
It depends what those regulations are. Do they violate someone's civil rights?
Absolutely.
Explain how.
Because you cannot go from one hue to another, okay, without the government's interference. So inherently, I feel like tanning salon regulations are unconstitutional.
What does that have to do with the color of someone's skin?
What do you mean? Tanning salons definitely have to do with the color of somebody's.
Once again, I'm not aware that tanning salons refuse to admit or go after people based on the color of their skin.
No, but the regulation as far as going from one skin tone to the other is heavily regulated by the government.
And what is that regulation exactly?
You have a certain amount of UV rays, okay, that cannot go into tanning beds. You have a certain
amount what does the certain amount of UV rays have to do with the color of someone's skin?
Well, because if the UV rays were more efficient in browning that said skin, right, then now we're cooking, right?
Yeah, I appreciate now.
Listen, Hakima, you don't have a tanning salon membership, okay? Stay out of it.
I don't need one.
Interesting that how you just answered was if. When we talk about whether or not someone's civil rights are violated, we generally don't say if this, then that. Fact of the matter is, there's nothing about tanning salons that discriminate against the color of someone's skin.
We can agree to disagree, okay? Meanwhile, they created spray tanning.
We don't have to agree to disagree. I just cited case law. Bro, what are you talking about?
Well, give me the case law. I didn't hear what you said. What's the case law?
the Mann Act, the prosecution of the Mann Act. What was it? The Dred Scott decision and commentary from that fucking judge. The United States has never pursued constitutional equality or fairness for every race and population within the United States demographic.
What does that have to do with tanning salons?
You said it was unconstitutional to target someone based on their skin tone and hue and all that stuff.
Yes, I absolutely did.
And my brain.
Hold on. I'll give you my sites.
I'll
give you my sites. The Civil Rights Act.
Hold on. Listen. Let's try to think of a conversation the way that I think of food. Like, I try to keep my food separated unless I'm eating a burrito, and then I'll put all the ingredients inside the tortilla. But on a plate of food, I try to keep like my protein and God, if you had fruit on the table, you got to keep it separate. You don't want the food to touch. Let's do that with our words. Where one person will speak and then the next person will speak after that. I don't want the words to touch. Is that
I am humbly apologize. I'm sorry. I got excited. Please forgive me. The 1964 Civil Rights Act makes it against the law to discriminate against people because of the color of their skin. There's also the advanced Title VII, Title IX, which took place in the 70s, which not only has been applied to AIDS, but it's been applied to whistleblower, color of someone's skin, race, religion, age, or race. It is against the law. In fact, we saw one of the most recent ones was the guy that didn't want to make the wedding cake, right, for the couple because they were bi or gay or lesbian or whatever.
Which, by the way, should be their choice. Should be their choice.
I'm just telling you what the law is.
Right. Well, here's the thing that's weird, right? It's like if I'm a fucking cake maker or whatever it is, like I shouldn't even have to give a reason. And this is the other thing. You'd stay out of trouble if you didn't give a reason. Like, let's say somebody came in and I was just like, fuck, he's wearing Pumas. I don't like Pumas. Fuck people who wear Pumas. I'm not making this motherfucker's cake. Like, I should be able to just be like, yeah, I'm not making this fucking cake. I don't want to. Like the fact that you should be forced into labor to do something against your will is fucking weird. It's also equally weird that somebody would not want to make a cake for somebody because of their sexuality. That's also bizarre. I don't understand that, but I think they should have the right to disagree.
Yeah, and I'll just land it here. For someone to come in here, and I think I understood him correctly, to say that the Civil Rights Act does not apply to this, that, or the other, that's either plain ignorance or the dude is just trolling.
Well, I'm going to say that based on what we've heard so far, ignorance is probably the leading cause.
I mean, I didn't even make that statement, so I don't know what he's arguing against. I just told him the United States has been unconstitutional for the entirety of its history. They have made public statements and legal statements of their unconstitutionality the whole time.
Well, actually, this is the first time you said that. This is the first time you said that.
That's why I went back to the Manifest Destiny. I started on Manifest Destiny. That's the 1800s. I brought up the How Eugenics Erased Black History. That's a documentary that's free to the public right now. It's 2 years old. The guy has 51,000 primary source documents proving the United States government and the white population of the United States crowdfunded modern Nazism as early as the 1820s. These people have never been constitutional, and we're gonna have to rip that Band-Aid off and stop saying these stupid statements. The USA is a white supremacist terror state and has always been so in their own recorded government documents since the early 1820s. That's where the conversation is now.
Hold on, real quick. Luz, how many countries are there on planet Earth?
Last time I heard, like 180 something.
Yeah, that's correct. And for the record, one of them is not Palestine. Just like to get that out there. But let me ask you this: if this country was founded on white supremacy, and it's always been bad, and particularly it's been bad for people that you identify with. My question for you is, why would you choose to live here?
Well, I personally didn't choose to live here. We were brain drained.
Are you an adult?
Yes.
And you do have freedom of movement, correct?
Incorrect.
You don't have freedom of movement. You couldn't decide to move somewhere else.
No, I don't have the funds to move somewhere else. If you gave me all my reparations, I'd gladly move to another continent.
Wait, hold on. There's plenty of places that are much cheaper to live. If you took the money that's in your pocket, which probably isn't a lot, you could go somewhere like Thailand and you could live like a king.
I've already researched Thailand. Thailand is just as racist as over here.
Interesting. So what you're saying is when you've done your research, you found that there's no perfect place. But what you've decided to do is live in the place. So you've decided to live in the one place that you think is the worst.
I just said, I didn't say there was no perfect place. I said I can't afford to move there yet. So you're planning to leave? If I'm given the opportunity, yeah. Like, why would I stay here?
Look, if it could be enforced, I would lead the GoFundMe to get your fucking ass out of here. That's for damn sure. But the problem is, you would come back. You would come crawling back. You would come begging back. You know how I know this? You know how I know this?
Because first of all, you can't send me anywhere.
You're free to
your country.
You're free to leave. You're free to leave, and you choose to stay. The reason you choose to stay.
This is my land. You're on my territory.
The reason that you choose to stay. The reason you choose to stay is because in 2025, there's not a planet on Earth that would give you more opportunities, and that's a fucking fact.
You mean the currency exchange rate? Like, yeah, that is biased towards the American empire for centuries. That's why people come here in the first place. I've done my research on that too. That's the only reason people brain drain out to this shithole, because they think it's a land of opportunity. It's a higher currency exchange rate. It's a market manipulation strategy for everybody in Latin America, South America, the Caribbean, even the damn EU people. I've spoken to white people from the EU. They take it as a currency exchange scam. They come over here, take their free education in Germany and France. And they fly out to America to make American dollars, and then they shunt that back towards their own projects around the globe.
Yeah,
they don't want to be here.
So that's some kind
just
of
know
brain.
It's profitable to be here.
Some kind of brain. That's some kind of brain that flows to the shithole place.
Yes, the United States Embassy literally.
Luce, hold on. A few questions. I want to just get to the bottom of this. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Are you a heterosexual? Are you a heterosexual?
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with...
you'll know, because I'll have a follow-up question. I'm asking you, are you a heterosexual?
I sexually identify as a lesbian, if that's what you're asking.
You're a lesbian. Okay. So do you plan on having kids? Do you have a plan on having kids?
Not in this economy. Like I said, it's pretty
Got it. Okay. No, this is fine. Because I would just say that if you believe that this country is as bad as it is, if you were to bring children into the world, into a place that you believe is that bad, I would say that that's akin to child abuse. And so I'm glad. Maybe you should go get sterilized. Maybe you should get yourself fixed to make sure that you can never have kids, so you don't have to worry about bringing them into this big scary world that you live in. The country, by the way, that you are free to leave but choose to stay.
Yeah, people say
I'm not free to leave. I don't have my money.
Speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words.
Yeah, and money talks louder than your opinion.
Exactly.
When I get my money, I don't have to listen to your dumb ideas.
So you prioritize. So you prioritize. Hold on, Hanson. Hold on, Hanson. Hold on. So he prioritizes money over these other things that he's complaining about. So when you start thinking about what his first principles are, it's not the things that he was mentioning and complaining. It's about money. Money is the thing that's the most important to him, and he will endure a place that he believes is completely unfair to him. Because, which by the way, is the place that gives him the greatest opportunity. You can't make up this kind of dumb shit.
It gives me the greatest opportunity that's in Europe. It gives me the most bang for my buck. That's what the currency exchange rate is about.
Exactly.
That's the unanimous opinion of multiple other people brain draining to the USA instead of the EU.
The action speaks louder than with that's why you're here.
No, I was brought here, and me and my siblings were brought here as children because we were a brain drain asset that may have gone to the EU. So the United States Embassy intervened and expedited. They intervened. The U.S. government intervened and expedited our green card.
Or you're so smart that you stayed at where where it's best for you.
Okay, can I interrupt?
So they intervened.
Please do. Hey, Lou's a white woman speaking. Go ahead and yield.
So that we could not go to the European Union. That's what they did when we were children. We found out years later. That's just called kidnapping nowadays.
Okay. Some of the people that were involved in this conversation, I started looking stuff up. And when somebody makes a broad statement about the South, sometimes I look up the facts. There are states that apparently don't have a minimum wage, so they take the federal minimum wage, and they are not all Southern. Okay, let's make that clear. And then we were talking about terrible places where police don't want to go. There was an apartment complex in the community I live in that was so dangerous that if they went in to try to arrest someone, the people that lived in the apartment would start throwing bottles at the police. And to go in there and actually do anything, they had to call in the ATF from Dallas to actually make arrests. So, sometimes people make statements that may be true, but okay, based on what? We had a young policeman that wanted to be a really good guy, and the people took his gun away from him and killed him with it. Okay, I've made my point. Hello, Mojo. How are you today, hon?
I'm wonderful, and I'm being entertained by a product of the junior college system. Luce, keep entertained.
Is that your only input?
Yeah, no, you're fascinating in how ignorant you are. But continue.
I mean, you had people on stage who didn't know where the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights were modeled on, and the founding fathers had commentary on that 300 years, less than 300 years ago. That's your American white Anglo-Saxon history. You don't know it, but you're calling a Caribbean person who studies everybody's history ignorant.
Correct. That's what I'm calling you. Yes, I'm calling you ignorant.
Yeah. Where's that gentleman who talked about Pocahontas? He doesn't know Indian policy for diplomacy. That's American history. Anglo-Saxons recorded all that nonsense. I didn't do it. My caravan ancestors didn't do it. Your ancestors did it. You should read your own ancestors' history before you call other people ignorant. It makes you look stupid.
You know what? We have an educational system that doesn't really want to educate people because they want to subjugate us. Okay. It's always fascinating to be here. I got to go. You guys are great.
Yeah, read more, talk less. That's a basic mantra I'm going to have to start repeating in more rooms and spaces. Read more, speak less.
That's very interesting that you would say that people should read more and talk less. So with all of your vast reading, you came to the conclusion that that race is the most important thing. So you're a self-identified black supremacist, and you live in a country that's never done any good in the world, and you refuse to leave because you're broke. This is your...
Correct. Racial discrimination is a problem for black workers in the US of A because you have an apartheid state You have racial discrimination on the job.
Didn't you say that you were a union construction worker?
Correct. And I didn't even land on that point. The union down here in the dirty South, the stanky wanky, is operated and headed by KKK membership. It is not some bastion of.
Why did you join it? Why did you join it?
It is another.
Why did you join it? Why did you join it?
To get my union benefits, multiple pensions, health coverage, all the other stuff you can't find in the right-to-work environments of all these dirty South states because they're shitholes.
So you work for the KKK. You're a
without union membership, you are just in another Asian sweatshop nation. That's it. There's no difference. You don't have any coverage. You don't have any social.
Hold on. Let me talk to you. Hold on. Hey, pause. I want to talk to the most educated person on the stage, which is Hanson. Hanson, you know something about Asian countries, and I would imagine that you have some good condemnation because, you made a choice, a conscious decision to come to the U.S. Can you explain your position on why you think the U.S. is a great place?
Well, because I think I have a good brain, and good brain people go to the place that's most favorable to them, and that's a simple choice. And I think Lou, like I said before, either he doesn't have a brain and stay in the shithole, or he's too smart and he wants to stay in the best place in the world.
Yeah, pretty much. George, what do you want to add to this?
I just think it's funny when the fact that I hear the word dumb from black people on Clubhouse much, much more than other people. So I would love to do a study.
Hopefully everything will be fine.
Luce, do you run into this often where you jump into a room and everybody realizes that you're the most ignorant person in the room? Is this a frequent thing for you?
Yes, I do racial audits for the last 2.5 years. So I understand COINTELPRO. I understand the nuances of how moderation is pretty much assigned to dismiss whatever a black intelligent man corrects in the social narrative. That's why you don't bring up the Iroquois Confederacy. People like you are posted by the CIA, NSA, ATF, DEA, FBI, all these different police surveillance authorities.
Hold on. What do I have to do with those organizations? Walk me through.
You all are in lockstep with all these fascist surveillance state entities pretending you are a free American white man.
Interesting.
Anytime you say something against the state, they can shut your channel down like that. Like any third world African dictatorship. It's the same thing. They're identical shitholes. Do you understand now? It's like nothing said in Africa. Is going on in America.
Luce, you clearly don't know who you're talking to. The idea that you think that I'm pro-surveillance state. In fact, while you fucking sit here in your hypocrisy, I actually go out and do things to fight against the systems that I dislike. What I would never do if I were in your shoes is go and work for the KKK. By the way, why anybody would go work for the KKK? That's crazy. That like you talk about how the country is based on white supremacy. You refused to leave it, and you took a job working for the KKK. You might be the dumbest person I've ever encountered on this app, and that's it.
I'm sorry. Do trade unions advertise their involvement in the KKK, or because I have ad block on all my devices, I don't consume
There's no upside. Like anybody who wants to talk to KKK, there's no upside.
I don't consume your commercial propaganda and media like a common slave, so I don't know if they're advertising.
Wait, no, hold on. No, listen. You're the one that brought to the table that the union that you work for is ran by KKK members. You were the one that brought that point up. No, hold on. Listen. That is essentially the same thing as seeing a slave boat about to depart from Portugal to Brazil, and then just running, sprinting, and jumping onto that boat and saying, "Please take me." That's essentially what you've done. You have set back your people. You have set back your people 500 fucking years. You're disgusting.
Where's the commercial that says, join the trade unions, we collaborate with the KKK, a known domestic terrorist group?
You said that. No, you said that, retard. Listen, I'm done. I can't deal with this level of stupidity. He literally said that he works for a construction trade union and that the